Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So today we're going to discuss the problem behind a problem. What am I talking about? So in life, when you're trying to achieve something, you're trying to get something done, right? You're trying to get something done. Maybe you're trying to scale your business, you're trying to seek knowledge, memorize the Quran, you're trying to get in shape, wherever it might be, but you're finding obstacles along the way. What is the one thing that you need to fix in order for you to be able to go in the direction of what it is that you want to achieve? This is the problem behind the problem. Why do I call it the problem behind the problem? Because a lot of the times when we try to solve an obstacle or get rid of an obstacle that's in the way of what we're trying to achieve, that's usually a symptom. It's not the disease. I'll give you an example. Let's just say that a person is struggling to focus when they're doing their work in the morning. Well, trying to fix the focus is trying to fix the symptom. Because it could be that lack of focus is due to a lack of sleep. It could be that lack of focus is due to distractions that he has in his life in terms of his marriage. His wife is stressing him, it's bugging him, and because of that reason he's not able to focus. So then it makes sense for him to solve the issue that he has with his wife. It makes sense for him to solve his sleep, because that will ultimately fix the problem. A lot of the times we're so fixated on the symptom we forget the disease. The reason I'm sharing this with you is because, guys, I spent a decade of my life trying to fix symptoms and not the diseases. I'm about to blow your mind, inshallah ta'ala. Well, hopefully. Maybe it's going to be anticlimactical, but I hope not. Look, I came across this thing recently called the theory of constraints. Now, the theory of constraints is a theory that's used in business a lot of the time, where they say, look, what should I be working on in my business today or in this quarter or in this year or whatever have you? And they say, well, find the biggest constraint of your business. Sometimes for you, it's like you're trying to make as much money as possible. But the constraint is not that you're not making enough money, you're not making enough sales. The constraint is that you're not actually fulfilling the promise that you made to the customers who already bought, and they're dissatisfied, so they're now bad mouthing you and giving you bad reviews, which means that people are less likely to buy, right? They're less likely to buy. So you're focused on marketing, why are the numbers not coming in? But if you focus on fulfillment, you find that the reviews would go up and people would actually spread the word and say, oh, this guy actually has got a great service. So the constraint would be in the fulfillment. For us, the constraint, our biggest constraint for years was our finances. Just having our finger on the pulse with regards to finances. So when I came across this in December, I said to Abu Bakr, I said, we need to hire a finance guy immediately. So we got the brother involved and he started to clear things up. And even then we thought we had made progress, but I didn't realize that we were still so far off the mark till we met with another brother who's the CEO of a company. He looked at our numbers, he sat down with our finance guy and kind of made some more progress, and then things became a bit clear. So the point that I mentioned, I don't want to lose you in the source, is that the theory of constraints mentions focus on the thing that's your biggest constraint, right? The thing that's on your biggest constraint. So sometimes we focus on what we want to do, or what we enjoy the most, or what we think, or what we feel, not based on data, not based on actual perception or reflection, is the real issue. So for me, I found that for my seeking knowledge, for my businesses, for my relationships, for my health, I was just distracted, too much going on. I didn't have good time management skills. I wasn't able to manage my time very well, blah, blah, blah. People are bugging me, this. When I started to look at this through the lenses of the theory of constraints, I started to realize the biggest constraint in my life is my lack of good quality sleep. Because when I sleep properly, my body recovers, I feel fulfilled, I feel refreshed. When I feel refreshed, I'm active, I'm energetic, I'm focused, I'm positive, I'm productive, I'm optimistic. All of these things that I require and I need to be able to get my tasks on a day-to-day done. So that was one constraint that I had, and I decided that I really need to lock down this. And recently, even despite I spent a lot of time and emphasis on it, I realized that, to be honest, I haven't actually perfected my sleep. There's still issues here. The second issue was that I didn't actually ever establish boundaries in my life. I didn't establish boundaries. Now, I'm going to make a video on boundaries in a lot more depth later because I feel like it's such an important topic. But boundaries are things, usually a person will think that a boundary is them telling a person, yo bro, don't talk to me like that. I don't appreciate you talking to me like that. That's not a boundary. People think I'm setting boundaries with my kids when I tell my kid, hey, you're not allowed to jump on the sofa. That's not a boundary. That's a request. A request is when you're asking the other person to behave in a particular way. But a boundary has got nothing to do with whether another person delivers on your request or not. Think about it. If I have a house and I'm trying to protect it and I build a boundary, my boundary does not in any way, shape, or form require the thief to not enter the house. The thief can do whatever he wants, but the boundary stands independently of the thief. I.e., the thief cannot get in, not because I've requested him to not get in, but I have created an environment that prevents and prohibits him from getting in, even if he wanted to get in. So a boundary, for example, if you're in a situation where people are insulting you and they're disrespecting you, you can make a request and say, Akhi, I don't appreciate being spoken to in that way. But if they persist, the boundary would be to leave, to get up and go. The boundary would be to leave. The boundary would be to now then not engage with people like that moving forward. Give them their rights as believers, Assalamu alaikum and whatnot, so on and so forth. Visit them if they're sick, if they're in help, if they need, give them help. But to not to present yourself to such a situation ever again. Likewise, for me, I didn't have boundaries when it came to people. I felt guilty always. I felt guilty. I didn't want to disappoint them. I felt anxious saying no, and I just never. And then in the end, what would happen is I've made a commitment to him. I've made a commitment to him. I made a commitment to him, and then I'm coming late to his commitment because he kept me over time, and then I'm having to cancel on his commitment. And he's angry with me and he's upset with me, and I was just trying to do something nice for everyone, and then I was the one that ended up being blamed. So I realized that, subhanallah, the way to overcome this was to say, no, sorry, I can't do it. I don't have to be that cutthroat. Say no, but I apologize, Akhi, I'm not able to do that for you. So this concept right here, I'm going to make a much more detailed video on it, inshallah ta'ala, the concept of boundaries and boundaries versus requests. I realized that was another constraint in my life. Another constraint that I came across recently was, I found that for the last, ever since Ramadan ended, up until literally just a couple of days ago, I found that I kept feeling, I'd wake up, energetic, get to work, and then after about 3-4 hours, just before I start my lessons with my sheikh online, I would begin to get extremely tired. And I had so much brain fog, brain was foggy. I get so tired. And I managed to soldier it through the lesson, then I have to go to sleep. But what use is it that you're not even focused on the lesson like that? You know what I realized? I started eating chocolate bars in the morning and cookies and things with chocolate and sugar. And it was causing me to crash. Because it gives you that initial boost, it causing me to crash. And then I left it. And as soon as I left it, I realized, subhanAllah al-Azim, my constraint here wasn't that I wasn't focusing, that I wasn't, there it wasn't even sleep. You can't even say that the constraint there was sleep, because I was actually sleeping now. And the constraint there wasn't that I didn't have the ability to say no to people, because I'm working based on my schedule. I've said no to everyone. My diary and my schedule is my schedule. This is my time for deep work and focus, and then I've got lessons. But then I'm not able to focus, so who do I point the finger at now? Okay, cool, sugar. And the moment I stop eating that, clarity of mind. So the reason I'm making this video, guys, is my request to you is to ask yourself, what is the constraint of your life? And I was watching this video by this guy who's got a bunch of business courses that I'm signed up to, and he talked about the theory of constraints in business. And he mentioned, look, you have to ask yourself, where is the patent is deep? Where is the theory of, where is the constraint in your business? So he went through all the elements of your business. It could be the offer, it could be the VSL script, the marketing department, it could be lead generation, it could be sales script, the offer to close ratio, the calls book to close ratio, the no-show rate, you know, it could be fulfillment, it could be finances, it could be management. He went for a bunch of things. Is that what is the constraint of your business? Based on that, identify which course you want to go through. But then he said, but you know what? all of this right here, there's one constraint that's 95% responsible for failure in these departments. You can go and fix these departments, but if you don't fix that one thing, that's 95%. That's 95%. That's 90%. That's 95% of the constraint. Sorry, let me explain that one more time. Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to keep it real, do this without any cuts or redos. Yeah. So he's saying there's all of these possible constraints in the business, but he said all of these only account to about 5% of possible constraints in your business. He goes, there's one thing that if you don't fix, and if this thing messes up, this is a constraint that's equal to 95%. I.e., you could fix your marketing and your sales, but if you don't fix this, you've got a constraint that's worth 95%. Your business constraints, all of the combined, are only about 5%. What is it? It's your personal life. When he said that, it hit me for 6. Because my brothers, the day you're stressed, your health is not well, you're not feeling good, bro, you could be as active as you want, bro. The day when I wake up sick, I can't do anything. The days when I'm worried about family or I've got issue with a loved one, a friend, I can't focus. The days I can't focus. Get your personal life right. But I would add one more thing to that the guy didn't mention, which is your deed. Which is your deed. You come right with Allah, everything else falls into place. Allah says, وَمَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَل لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ وَمَن يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ وَسَأَلَيْسَ اللَّهُ بِكَافٍ عَبَدَهُ. Allah is enough to suffice you and take care of all of your needs. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. So get right with your Lord, and then after you've got that, now start asking yourself, well, what's the issue here? Like, it's so deep. Like, sometimes I speak to people when it comes to, I speak to students of knowledge, and it's like, bro, there's it's such a rigid like way of thinking. Or the issue is that you haven't read this book, or you haven't gone here to that sheikh, or you haven't done this. Or you speak to some guys in business, it's like, oh, you haven't done this or that, or act. Issues, you're not sleeping. Simple. It's as simple as that, right? So when you fix this, you'll find a lot of things start to open up for you, inshallah ta'ala. Anyways, with that said, I want to keep this short and sweet. If anyone wants to get on a coaching call with myself with regards to how to scale their social media, their businesses, if their businesses aren't backed by social media, that what I mean here is that if you've got a following over 10,000 on Instagram or YouTube, and you've got a business that's ideally something where you're selling a course or coaching, consultancy type of situation, you've got a community and you want to scale that, and your primary source of marketing is organic social media marketing, that type of stuff, inshallah ta'ala, you can jump on a call with me. I'll be happy. I've got a few slots available every week. I've got some time available for you guys. With that said, man, I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully, with another episode of whatever this is called. Assalamu alaikum.